Hey everybody, welcome to another Catch Up with Mayo, and we have here 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm a little early than I usually am, and that's because tonight I have to go out. So we're going to get this done first, and then I'll go out. And we have Ramoga here already. What's the good word? Mike Waljasper, Joseph Mantaneo, happy Easter to you. Thank you very much. Gary, hello, and Hamat Stickman, hello. All right, so those are our first people here. But now we have another one. Pirate Gamer Boy, hello. What's doing, everybody? Happy Easter to you. Happy Easter. Cheers. Okay. So, everybody, I wonder if people got tripped up today because I'm here earlier than usual. Hopefully, they read the starting time. They don't think it's going to be 4 p.m. I hope. Hello, EKR. Hello, am I getting snow in my area? Absolutely not. It's a beautiful warm day today. Thank God. It was sunny today. It's starting to get a little cloudy now, but no snow here. Minnesota, you're getting snow though. Hello, George. Happy Easter. Do I have a track from the Boys of Dungeon Lane that you're most excited about, and why? If you do, well, not yet, really. No, no. I mean, I saw the list of songs that are going to be on the new McCartney album, Boys of Dungeon Lane, but none of them strike me right now. I'll wait to see. All I know is I do like the new song, Days We Left Behind. I do like that song. Am I hyped for the upcoming new Stones album? In London, are the Cockroaches posted rumored to be the Stones making an announcement on April 11th? I don't really know what the deal is with that. I've heard that this Cockroaches thing was AI nonsense. So these days, you don't know what's real and what's not real, what's AI and what's not AI. So that's a problem. It's part of the lousy, stinking, awful world we live in 2026. So I don't really know. But as far as a new Stones album, I love the last one, Hackney Diamonds, so much that I really didn't want there to be another one. I figured this should be the Stones' last album. They went out on a high note with Hackney Diamonds, but they are going to have another one. Mr. Blood Vessel, I actually stopped by the store today, which is unusual. I mean, I don't go there as often as I used to. And I was just thinking again, while I was there and I was talking to the guys there, Corey and Chris, I said, boy, the record store reality videos are really dead. They are dead. I'm not saying that they're dead forever. There is never going to be another one of them, but there is not anything really to record anymore. It's that simple. Somebody came into the store while I was there and they were selling some records, and they had a pretty amazing Metallica collection. I don't know how many people out there listening like Metallica, but they're worth a lot of money. And that could have been something that I recorded. The only thing I can think of these days to really record at the store, not so much shenanigans and crazy stuff and fun stuff, but just transactions maybe with the records. If people are trying to sell records and Chris at the store is thumbing through the records. That's all. There's really not much But of course, I'm not going to say I'm putting my foot down that there are never going to be any more record store videos at all. If there's anything worth recording, I'll always have my camera and I'll record. But I rarely see things anymore. Plus, I don't go there very often anymore. How am I doing this past week? Pretty good overall. My thoughts on An American Werewolf in London on Svengoolie. Well, I'm not going to be home, thank God, because I do not like that movie. They do have a good transformation sequence. The werewolf transformation sequence is classic. I never liked that movie, even when I saw it at the theater, because it's just too dumb for its own good. It's kind of a silly movie. It doesn't take itself seriously enough. That's why I don't like it. Not so much that it's boring, just so too self-parodying. I've been getting tired of Ringo continuing to reference Liverpool, former bands, and former songs in so many of his songs. The first time he did was okay, but I'm now bored and annoyed. Your thought? Well, yeah, that's how I feel too. I mean, if it's a good song, it works. Like there was this song from the Why Not album, which is now, that was 2010. So you're talking about that album is pretty old now. And there was a song on there, The Other Side of Liverpool. And I really like that song a lot. Really good. So if it's a good song, I don't care if he mentions Liverpool. I don't even care if he mentions peace and love again and again and again. Well, I kind of do, because not that I'm against peace and love, just because it's boring after a million times. But if it's a good song, I'll take it. Let's see. No, I have not seen the guy in the videos, the record store videos, that sells junk and gets very little for it. I haven't seen him. He hasn't been coming in as much. I'm excited for Life is Hard, I think it's called. I don't remember the title. He did a demo on his show, McCartney 321, back in 2021 or so, and based off that, it sounded great. I saw McCartney 321, but that's going back now 5 years or so already, so I don't recall all of it. It was pretty jazzy. I hope it stayed that way. Yeah, I don't recall it. I heard Paul perform every night at the Apple Park 50th in a YouTube clip. He sounded surprisingly good, much better than he has in years, at least on that tune. I've heard tunes, as I've said many times, talk about repetition, right? But saying the same things all the time. But, when I hear him live, when I hear Paul live, sometimes he really amazes me and sounds very good. Other times I think this guy's got to pack it in. It depends on the night, depends on his voice that day. I've heard him sound good. Well, good. I certainly say sound good. I've heard him sound good for him at his age. Okay, Joseph, I'm really hopeful for the Ringo album. I want to pick up the George Harrison LP live in Japan. I'm very excited for Paul's album. The Rolling Stones album is supposed to come out on April 11th. Wow. Okay, then. There's a lot of stuff coming out. Ringo's album, Paul's album, the Rolling Stones album, John and Yoko movie, George Harrison in Japan again. Yeah, apparently Metallica albums are worth a lot of money. That's all I could say to that. And Bazooka Joe I have not seen in a while, so I don't know anything. I trust he's doing okay. Classic album review, just did the best and worst song on every Beatle album. I think you mean the best and least best. Yeah. How often do you visit the record store these days? It's one day every 2 weeks, something like that. It used to be a time when I go in almost every day. Now I go in once every 2 weeks, maybe not even that often sometimes. Let's see. Would you like to see King Kong versus Gamera or Godzilla versus Gamera movie? Just wonder what you think. I would love to see a Godzilla versus Gamera movie. Yeah. Kong versus Godzilla is on TV tonight. Who is the baddie? Is that one of the newer movies? Because I really don't know about this. If it's one of the newer films, I believe Godzilla is usually considered the baddie. Hi, Douglas. Thank you. It's my birthday month this year. By the time before we get to May 1st, I'll be 64. Can't believe it. Believe me, and those of you who are younger, it'll be here before you can blink your eye. Trust me. Okay. Any upcoming Anthony Diner video coming? Well, here's the thing, actually. Today I got a phone call from Anthony. He wanted to get together this Wednesday. Turns out I can't make it Wednesday, so nothing's going to happen. Unfortunately, we can only get together when we're both able to get together. He was able to do it Wednesday. I'm not. Now we got to wait. I have to say, there's a very different vibe at the record store these days. You're right, Blood Vessel. That's been that way for some time. It's, all things must pass, things change, and it's just not the same place it was during the years I was going. I was going there from 2011, which was a year before I started this channel, because I started my channel in 2012. But from 2011 till recently, until say 2025 or sick. I got about 15 years out of it, but it's a shadow of its former self in one way. I mean, it's a shadow of its former self in the sense of all the fun and the craziness that used to happen there. It's a shadow of its former self. As far as the quality of how clean the store is and how well stocked it is, that's just as good as always. In fact, that quality has improved. Hello, Chris. You want to know one of my favorite Beatles YouTube channels? I personally think yours is the best. Well, if that's the truth, I bet you say that to all the Beatles YouTube channels. No, but seriously, thank you if that's the case. I appreciate that. I have favorites, but I don't want to say them because if I do, I'll let somebody down, and I don't want to do that. I'm an honest guy. I say my opinions and stuff, but there are also sometimes where I use some decorum, and I don't want to pick favorites. Let's see. It's a good question, though. I get asked that from time to time. Terry, okay, are you liking all these music concerts or documentaries that are suddenly being shown on the cinema recently? Some I really enjoy. Yeah. Holiday plans. Tomorrow being Easter Sunday, I don't have any plans for tomorrow. But tonight, the night before Easter, we're going to be going over to my brother-in-law's, or I call him my ex-brother-in-law, and my nephews will be there, I believe, for some family stuff tonight. That's why I'm on here earlier. I'm going to be there for dinner tonight. That's why I'm on here 3 o'clock instead of later today. Hello, Claire. Thank you for joining us here. I will say in some of the older videos, I was surprised they allowed eating in the store. Yeah, Joe used to allow all the time. These days, his son is really in charge, and his son doesn't appreciate that kind of thing as much. It's about all I could say. For being 54, well, I'm 64, so you still have that youthful look. Honestly, Joe, happy birthday month in April. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, the gray's coming in, gray's coming in. I got to take care of that like I usually do. That's right. I've been taking care of that before I ever made videos, by the way, a little bit, it's all about presentation. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. The record store videos were better before they kicked Don out. Absolutely. Don was a staple of the store, and we have all the old videos to enjoy. What YouTube videos other than music or film related do you enjoy watching? I also like videos about retired life. I watch people talk about retired life. I watch videos about health, about the carnivore diet or certain kind of dieting or foods. So that's really the other ones I watch mainly. Otherwise, it's music or film related. Okay, watch King of Kings and The Greatest Story Ever Told. Great movies. I always found The Greatest Story Ever Told to be a bit of a bore, to tell you the truth. It's a star-studded cast. It gets a little ridiculous after a while. There's so many stars just to point and say, hey, look who it is. Hey, there's John Wayne over there. Hey, there's Roddy McDowell over there. Hey, there's Shelley Winters over there. Silly. I mean, I never appreciated that. And King of Kings was a movie that I used to like when I was a boy. It used to show up in New York on something called the 4:30 movie. It used to be on the 4:30 movie, and I grew up with that. But I saw it recently. It didn't hold up for me. Did you attend Paul's Got Back tour at all? I went to his concert in Minneapolis, Minnesota, October 17th of last year. I think he did, but the venue had awful acoustics because it's meant for football. Last time I saw Paul was on his birthday. I saw him in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium on June 18th, 2022. And Bruce Springsteen joined him. They did Glory Days together. That was on Paul's birthday, 80th. That's the last time I saw him. It was an enjoyable show. Okay, yeah, you were saying that you thought Paul did good. Okay, I got it. And the venue had this annoying ooh sound, and it was really annoying, but his voice sounded pretty good. There you go. Well, when you're actually at the show, as we all say, when you're actually at the show and you're in his presence, and he's Paul McCartney, and you're in the same arena, it's exciting. It's enjoyable. Some people don't want to hear that, but it's true. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Same to you and yours, Anthony. Hello, Christian. I've never seen Quadrophenia. I tell you what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Tommy by The Who. Tommy was in the theater recently, and I forgot about it because I would have went. I wish I was turning 54. It's 64, but happy birthday. Unboxing videos surprise me. Who would have thought we would watch unboxing videos? They're very popular. When I do an unboxing Beatles related video, it does well, Excuse me. How's your mom doing? I wish her happy Easter and good health. Thank you. Well, I don't want to. I get very suspicious, superstitious. I get she's doing well right now. She turned 85 December. Her birthday is December 8th, the day John Lennon was taken from us. My mother turned 40 that day. Well, it's the most boring story ever told, the way they present it in The Greatest Story Ever Told, in my opinion. Yes, I saw Paul in 1991 on MTV Unplugged. Yeah, it's a very good show, a very good performance. Yep. Yeah, the sinkhole is repaired. And by the way, that's not my biggest fear in the world. I got a lot of worse fears than that. I've never seen Jesus of Nazareth. Feel so young because I'm only 25, but seriously, happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful day whenever that comes. Thank you very much. And I'm going to tell you the truth. It'll get here for you pretty fast too. And when you get there, you won't feel much different. When you're 25, the idea of being 60 seems like a lot. But what do you think of Heston in the Ten Commandments? I think Charlton Heston's great in the Ten Commandments. I enjoy the Ten Commandments, but not as much as Ben-Hur. I just saw it in the movie theater again. I saw it twice, Ben-Hur, that is, recently. Ten Commandments these days, I liked it more as a kid than I do now. I think it's kind of hokey and corny. It's a little on the corny and hokey side, but Heston is great in it. Yeah, I'm sure I have. I'm sure I've messed up a video that I couldn't publish, but I can't recall now, but I know it's happened. Well, as I say, I enjoy the Ten Commandments, but I don't think it's as good as Ben-Hur. Yeah. Okay, George has a theory on Ringo's Choose Love. Ringo loves name check songs. He's been doing that for a long time, yeah. T-Bone is bored by them and won't write one. The compromise is to do a remake, which is more interesting and less annoying than the original. That's the best theory I've ever heard from you, George. Since the one you said that the Planet of the Apes TV series in 1974 had to end because the apes ran out of bullets. That's it's a good one. Wish I was turning 64 instead of 74. Somebody out there, Gary, is saying they wish that they were turning 74 instead of 84. Right? Yeah, Passion of the Christ is good to watch. I've seen it like at least 3 or 4 times. And the last time I watched Passion of the Christ, I thought to myself, okay, I've had enough of this. I don't think I'd ever watch it again. I won't watch it again. It's a decision I'm making. I've seen it 3, maybe 4 times in the theater and on home video, and that's enough. Do you have many Hermits albums in your collection? Yes, I do. I have quite a few of them, actually. I think I have all of them. Yeah, I like Herman's Hermits. Peter Noon, yeah. We are getting Storm Dave here in the UK. We give storms names. Will we ever get a Storm Ringo? I don't know if there's ever been one. But yeah, of course, we give them names too. It's the humans ran out of theories. Geez, I couldn't watch Passion of the Christ 4 times. You're a brave man. Well, the thing about that movie is, in my opinion, it's really, look, I'm spiritual and I believe in God and I believe in Jesus and all, and all that. And I believe in, Easter and the resurrection, all that. But Passion of the Christ is really an exercise in how much can you beat up a guy. That's really what it is. I mean, it has other things too. It's not just that, but it's heavy on that. And I don't need to see a guy get beaten to a pulp over and over again many times, and that's really the main point of the story. Here's your beer, Archie. All righty, let's leave it there. Huh? With my Archie Bunker for you. By the way, they took Archie Bunker, All in the Family, off MeTV, and they put on the Golden Girls. Jeez. But the thing is, doesn't matter because I just watch my DVD set. Every Sunday night, I watch my DVD. Well, Archie, actually, they put 2 episodes of Archie on Sunday nights now at 11. Archie and All in the Family used to be on 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Sundays, Eastern. Now they put the Golden Girls on from 8 to 10. And Archie's got like 1 or 2 episodes, I think, on at 11. The Last Temptation of Christ, I think I saw that one time and thought it was, ridiculous, I think. I remember all the hoopla when that came out. I'm trying to think. I do believe I've seen it one time, and that was a long, long time ago. And I saw it on video, but I don't remember liking it. Do I have a favorite 70s TV detective? I haven't. I mean, I don't want to just rattle off names for the sake of it. I actually like Kojak, of course, if you want to call him a detective. Is he a cop or a detective? And Beretta. I was just thinking, I really wish that Beretta, Robert Blake, was on. I wish you could get it. Yes, I actually, believe it or not, I have a desire to see the Michael Jackson biopic when it comes out. And the reason I say that is because 2 reasons. Number one, I saw a trailer for it in the movie theater, and the trailer looked good. You can't always judge a movie by its trailer. It could be better or worse, but it looks interesting enough. And I like Michael Jackson, the music, and that's 3 reasons. That's 2 reasons. Number 3, my girlfriend wants to see it, so we like to go to the movies, my girlfriend and I. And there are so few opportunities anymore for anything we both of us want to see to bother anymore. So there's an excuse to go. Let's see. I was talking to a priest. I'm not religious, but he was a great guy. He said heaven and hell is here on earth. Well, that's the thing, but I'm not going to get all religious on us. I mean, but what was your favorite serious episode of All in the Family with a serious plot? Okay, generally speaking, I don't like the episodes of All in the Family where the plot is serious, but this is a very good question, Nick. And I would say that probably the Draft Dodger, the Christmas episode where they have dinner with the young guy who came over from Canada to have Christmas, and he dodged the draft, and Archie finds out. That's probably my favorite serious episode. What's your opinion on the Beatles biopic cast? I think the choices for Jane, Yoko, Sin, Linda look decent, but the boys look questionable. I haven't seen all the photos. Well, first of all, the actors playing the Beatles themselves, I still say I think that the Ringo actor looks pretty good. Paul actor looks pretty good. The John and George, I'm still up in the air about. I did see some of the women actresses, but I can't recall them now, to tell you the truth. So I don't have an opinion. Paul McCartney's ex-girlfriend, Jane Asher, turns 80 years old April 5th. That's tomorrow. And it's been 11 years that Cynthia Lennon has passed away, April 15th. Yeah. Peter Jackson's working on a new Beatles project, maybe avatars like ABBA Voyage show in London. What does that mean? Wouldn't a Star Club concert with cleaned up audio be great? Well, let's hope so. Let's hope he's going to be working on that. You know, my feelings, as I've always said this, I've never been as excited about the Hamburg show as other people are, because to me, it was recorded after the Beatles got Ringo. It was recorded after they gave up their leather jackets and got into suits and ties. It was recorded after Pete Best. It was recorded after they made and issued "Love Me Do" as a single already. It wasn't the old Hamburg Beatles. It was the new modern Beatles, just playing one gig in Hamburg. It was, so that's why I don't think it's as great a deal as we used to think it was when we first found out about these tapes in 1977. Yeah, sure. I'd be curious to hear if Peter Jackson could clean them up and use his Mal technology and whatnot on it. I'd be happy to hear what they can do with the sound. But I don't think historically, people say it's not historically anything anymore, because it's not the pre-fame Beatles of the 1960 and 61 era with Pete Best. So I don't get it. Yeah, this is another All in the Family, Beverly LaSalle, the one when she died. That was a good one too. I mean, it wasn't good because it involved a death, but I mean, it's a sad thing, but it was a, good story. Yes, Jeff, I am interested in seeing the Michael Jackson movie because I saw the trailer and it actually looks promising. And I hope I don't get screwed, You've seen The Hero and the Terror, Chuck Norris movie. Have the movie soundtrack. I rarely see any Chuck Norris movie soundtracks at the store. No, I have not seen that one. Do you have the Dave Clark 5 records? What are your thoughts about the Dave Clark 5? I like the Dave Clark 5. Specifically, there must be about a dozen songs, at least 12 songs or so by them that I really like. I don't know if I have any vinyl right now, but I was just thinking again. I've told all of you that I am purging something like, I want to say 75% of my vinyl collection. I haven't really started. I'm probably hopefully going to do it over the summer. I'm thinking about going to a record show and maybe selling at a record show. So I'm not sure yet, but I am going to be purging. I don't know if I have any. I might not have any vinyl right now of Dave Clark 5. I used to. But I definitely have the CD. I forget what I think it's called, The History of the Dave Clark 5. It's a really good, I think it's a double CD or triple CD. So I'm good. Hello, Oliver. I got a ticket to see Rod Stewart in a couple of weeks. So excited. Yeah, I never saw Rod Stewart, but I do like Rod Stewart. Hey, 4D man. Jane Asher has been so classy that it's Paul McCartney who broke the silence on their relations in his lyrics book, not Jane Asher. That's a first in his romance history. I got to tell you, it would be so good to hear the truth, whatever Jane would want to tell us. But she's been very, very respectful and classy, you know, that she has never kissed and told. Let's put it that way. Looks like you're disappointed with Ringo's choices on his new album. All I can say is there are 10 songs on the new Ringo album. I only heard the first two songs that they dropped, and I did not like either song. That's all I could say. I'm disappointed in those two songs, but let's see what the other 8 are like. I think people are getting, some people, not saying it's not you, uh, Rory, it's not you I'm referring to here, but there were people that are being ridiculous in the comments. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. We can agree to disagree. I can dislike a song and people can like the song, and vice versa. But when you start saying things like, oh, you're just a mean guy and you're just an old man, grouchy old man, it's like, listen, I praised Ringo's album, Look Up. I said it was the best album since 1973 that he did right after the Ringo album. And I gave Look Up 10 out of 10 stars, 10 out of 10 rating, full rating. Is that good enough for you? Does that make me seem like a non-grouchy young man? It's like, you say something positive and fine that people agree with, and you're okay. Say something negative, disagree with, oh, you're going to have a heart attack. You'll give yourself a heart attack. You're just a grouchy guy. You're an old man. It's like, what a world, man. People are so dumb. I'll be honest with you. I'm not talking about us disagreeing. Like I said, disagreeing is fine. We can agree to disagree, but I really like Paul's new single. Does that make up for it for you? It's like you can't if you're honest with yourself, you can't love everything equally from all the solo Beatles songs. And I'm talking about specifically the Beatles solo songs. John, Paul, George, and Ringo solo. They have hundreds of songs. And anybody who says they like all of them, every single one of them, is not being honest to himself or herself or honest to anybody else. Let's see. Okay. I think some of the best sitcoms, like All in the Family, are able to go from hysterical scenes right to a dead serious moment and back again. Yeah, they do that. I'm watching Man on the Run. It is very good documentary about Linda more than Paul. I don't see that at all. I don't know where you got that from, but she's definitely a big part of it. Do you think there will be more variants of the new Paul album to come out and a cassette? Yeah, I think so. I think one of the things, though, when we say variants, I bet you what's going to happen is we're going to get some versions of the record with bonus tracks. I'll bet you. I don't know. Again, I don't know this for a fact. I'm not declaring or revealing anything. I don't know. I'm just saying what I imagine is going to happen is we're going to get versions with extra songs on it. Because Paul recorded, I think, like 25 songs. And this new album that's coming out, The Boys of Dungeon Lane, only has 14 tracks on it. Which song of Paul McCartney's do you think you'd say is your favorite? Now, the funny thing is, I've always said with this, Paul McCartney is such a songwriting genius. And I think Paul McCartney is the greatest songwriter who ever lived, probably. Okay? So in order to pick one song from him is impossible. It really is. But a lot of times, as hard as that is, I often go to Maybe I'm Amazed. Why do you think Ringo re-recorded Choose Love? I don't know. It's not the first time Ringo's re-recorded songs. He's done so many of them before. He's re-recorded a bunch of songs. Some Beatles songs he's re-recorded, and he's recorded again some of them from his solo career. I think maybe because he thinks it's a positive message, choose love, all that, instead of hate and all that, a cliche. Again, my reaction is not because I don't agree you should choose love over hate. My reaction is because it's been done so many times by Ringo, it's getting to be a real stupid cliche from him. But anyway, also, I think because it name checks Beatles songs in it, it mentions The Long and Winding Road, it mentions Tomorrow Never Knows, it mentions What Goes On, all it's such a. I think that's why, but who knows? Plus, I think Ringo likes the song. He must like the song. Does not having games console not bother you? Nope. My question didn't come out right. Is there a day when you don't see or hear anything about the Beatles? Yeah, I don't know about that. It seems like every day, whether you're looking for it or not, you're always going to hear something. If even if it means I have the radio on and they play a song, I'll hear it. Or I'm in the shopping mall and there's a song Beatles related coming through the music system. On TV, there might be a mention of the Beatles. It's really very, very few days of the year where there's no Beatles mentioned. Not talking about me playing a record or not, or our CD. Even if I don't play anything, there's always some kind of Beatles stuff going on. Which movie would you say is your favorite by Bruce Lee, if you have a favorite? I've seen a long time ago, I saw Enter the Dragon and I saw Game of Death, but I'm not enough of a fan to really make a comment on that because I don't really know them that well. Yes, I'd love to read a Jane Asher memoir or diary. Maybe she made a posthumous provision like Jackie Kennedy did. We don't know. But, we have to see. We have to see. We have April birthdays. Yes, indeed. What confirmed upcoming release are you most eager to get? Well, right now, the most eager I am for is the Paul album. I'm very eager for that May 29th. I like the song, the first single, if you will, that came out. So I'm very anxious for that. Hello, Black Chub Bear. What's going on? There he is, Andy Nichols. Choose love. No thanks. Choose Paul. That's not nice. I've said this before, though. Yeah, I mean, definitely, if we're talking, Andy, about the two songs, I definitely would choose Paul's song, Days We Left Behind, over Choose Love. It's not one of my favorite Ringo songs, even the original one. But the album, I still believe that Paul still has to live up to Look Up, because Look Up was a real great success for Ringo, terrific Ringo album. I hope the new album, The Boys from Dungeon Lane, is at least half as good as Ringo's. So we shall see about that. I'm gonna put a link up here if you want. If you want to join, let me know if you want to join, Andy. I'm putting an invitation out to Andy if he wants to join. Let me know first, otherwise I won't put it out. If you had to choose Beatles or solo Beatles music, what would you take to a desert island? If I had to go to a desert island, it would be Beatles. If you're asking me what do I play most of the time today when I feel like hearing something, it's solo Beatles. Does that make any sense? Watched an episode of Love American Style this morning. Starring the actor, I didn't know his name, who plays Chief O'Hara from Batman. Okay. Yeah, Love American Style. I wish they put a lot of those seasons out. I have one season of Love American Style, but it got better as the show went on. The first season not too good. So yeah, Ringo forgot that I saw it. What was it? Somebody said there was an interview with Ringo, and he said that the Choose Love was 10 years ago. He made a little brain fart. That's all. Did you watch the new interview Paul did with Morgan Neville? Both noticed they were doing the interview the day John was murdered. Oh wow, really? And Paul opened up about how it hit him. Well, I saw it was up, and I very lazily scanned through it. I think it was about a half hour, something give or take, right? And what I saw in it that I liked that Paul addressed that issue, that the song Mary Had a Little Lamb was written specifically because his daughter Mary was why he wrote it, kind of for her, with her in mind. He didn't write it, and he made sure he explained this again, which I'd heard him say this in interviews in the past, but nobody seems to have heard it, where he says, they thought I wrote it because they banned Give Ireland Back to the Irish. And they thought that I wrote this to say, as if to say, try to ban this song now. You can't ban this one. But he says that's not why he did it, but he kind of likes the way it worked out. So I'm glad I got to see that clip was in there, and he addressed that again. At the end of Ben-Hur, the physician who was treating Masala, Stephen Boyd, looked like an actor from Hammer movies. Andre Morel at the beginning. You know what's funny? I know the name Andre Morel, and when I see Ben-Hur, I always see the name up there. But I never knew which actor was Andre Morel because I can't, Andy has always hated Ringo Starr. Andy says false. Well, here's the thing. Had it been, I don't say he hates Ringo, but I used to think that he really wasn't very interested in Ringo. Maybe still not, but I think that in recent times he's gotten more interested than he used to be. Is that fair to say? Not that he hated Ringo. That's ridiculous. But anyway, if you let me know if you want to come up here, Andy, you could take it head on and let me know. Let's see. The Jaco Bio trailer hints that the film will start in late 60s and end with Thriller. Okay. That's what it should end as far as I'm concerned. Well, they should have his death in there, but okay. Okay, I got one. What question would you ask Paul if you were interviewing him? I'd say, Paul, is the album called Wings at the Speed of Sound, or is the album called At the Speed of Sound, or is the album called Speed of Sound? No, seriously, I know. I mean, every time this question comes up, I always say if I could only ask him one question, I'd have to think about it. But lately, that question's been coming up. And, of course, before Andy beats me to the punch, the album is Wings at the Speed of Sound. It says it right there, blatantly on the cover in one shot, all together as one thing. Boom, all the words together. Hope the Michael movie isn't just like Bohemian Rhapsody with embellished non-truths and wrong time plots. Okay. Let's see. I too think that Paul has reinvented the inspiration for writing Blackbird. Well, that's what people say. You know, one of his revisions. Wait a minute. I'm going to go back up here. Hold on. I always imagine Ringo's house, all decorated still in 50s furniture. I was about to mention Paul's interview. He was totally caught off guard. He was like, oh, my God, that was today. And he got all choked up. Oh, really? I got to see that. That's interesting. By the way, while we're talking about interviews, I saw the Dana Carvey interview with Paul. What's his name again? Spader? I don't remember his name. And they interviewed Ringo. First of all, Dana Carvey is nervous as hell. He's a real complete fanboy. And he's really like jittery about meeting and getting starstruck by Ringo. And that's fun to watch. But again, it was mostly Beatles questions again. Oh, the Beatles this. How about when you drummed on this and you drummed on that Beatles song? It's like, again, Beatles. At one part late in the interview, Ringo had to say, and he was very good-natured. Ringo's mellowed out a lot about this. Ringo used to get really upset on old talk shows in the 80s. He used to say, we're here to talk about Caveman. That's why we're here. But this time he says, at the end of this, good-naturedly, oh, by the way, I do have a new album coming out. You know what I mean? Again, don't you know you're not supposed to belabor interviews about Beatles all the time? You know? Yeah. Let me interview you, Ringo. I won't ask you one Beatles question unless you allow me one or two. I think Don't Pass Me By was one of the weakest songs on the White Album. Ringo could do a new improved version of that. I think there was a good song in there. I like Don't Pass Me By. I've always enjoyed it. I think it's a fun, happy little song. Well, you were in a car crash and you lost your hair, but I like it. Must get sick of being asked the same questions. I know they do because I get sick of it too, on a much smaller scale than Paul McCartney or Ringo. I think if John was still here, it would lose his rag or disappear from public life because of the questions. George got spiky by them. I'm all mixed up here. Okay. Sorry. All right. Which do you prefer more, Batman and Robin or the Green Hornet? I'm not big on either one of them, but I don't really know the Green Hornet series at all. So I know about Kato and Bruce Lee, but I think I'll go for Batman and Robin easy. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, I know that character. Yes, that's Andre Morel. Okay, I know who that is. Very good. Right at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. And there's a man named John who drowns people in water. Penny Lane. Hello, Penny Lane. What do you say? And then, do you think there will be a Beatle Fest this summer, 2026? No, they made it clear that there wouldn't be a fest this year. We don't know if there are going to be any more fests, so there you go. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Oh, David Spade. I said Paul Spader. David Spade, right. Thank you. I knew it was on the tip of my tongue, as the Beatles once wrote. Question for Paul. What made you decide to finally stop dyeing your hair? I'm not going to answer for Paul, but I would be willing to bet that the answer is because his face didn't really match his hair anymore. And it's all an individual choice. My face, to me, is not ready yet. In fact, I think I look like right now with the gray coming more in here. I think it doesn't match my young face, to tell you the truth. Just my opinion. When it's time, it will be time. I have heard there'll be 2 Michael Jackson movies, and this is the first half. Okay. Why do you think Paul doesn't seem to like Back to the Egg? I think he doesn't like Back to the Egg because he relies on what people say about his albums and critics say about his albums. If people don't like something, he tends to shy away from it. If they embrace something and they really like it, he kind of like thinks it's good too. I think he listens too much to that sort of thing. And I personally believe, I have no proof of this, it's just a hunch that I have, like in the new Man on the Run show and stuff. I think that Paul is starting to kind of disown late Wings, and he wasn't very kind, in my opinion, to Lawrence Juber and Steve Holly in Wings, by saying he never really was wild about that lineup, and those days he didn't really like that much. I think that if it had gone over a lot better, that it had was a number one big album or something like that, everybody was raving about it, you could damn well bet he would change his mind about that. That's what I think. I could be wrong. I'm saying I could be wrong. It's just a hunch. No, I say rotogravure. I don't know, rotogravure. That's how I say it. Rotogravure? Rotogravure? Rotogravure. When you do videos with Matthew Street, you could call it The Ballad of Joe and Matthew. All right. We don't do that many videos these days. We used to do more, but we do occasionally do live streams together. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right about that. Very good. I take that back. Right, exactly. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Paul claimed that Hi, Hi, Hi was the band's song, not Give Ireland Back to the Irish. True, that's right. I saw that clip. You're right, George. Now, the thing is, though, were both of them banned? Maybe he's talking about banned songs in general, right? You know, you're against Give Ireland Back to the Irish. You're against Hi, Hi, Hi. Well, how about this? Mary Had a Little Lamb. He's saying that that's not the reason that he recorded Mary. And I agree. I mean, I believe him. I believe that. I wonder if Ringo still owns John's old house, Tittenhurst Park. I don't think so. If I had a chance to interview Paul, I'd ask him about his solo work. Many positives remarks on the Beatles Two of Us song in the movie Project Hail Mary. Very good. Ringo actually wrote Don't Pass Me By around 64. Yes, I know. There was a BBC interview where Paul playfully mocked it. Don't pass me by. Don't make me cry. Don't make me blue, baby. Yeah, I know that. And he definitely mentioned it in 64. And I even saw him, he even kind of mentions that he wrote a song. I think it was on Ready, Steady, Go in 1964 also. Ringo mentions that he wrote the song. But I think maybe it wasn't complete or it wasn't finished. Maybe it wasn't the way he wanted it to be. Let's see. Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe the Fest for Beatles fans back next year. Maybe. I think you know perfectly well that Ringo dyes his hair, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I think he looks great. If you look great doing it, I mean, if you look acceptable or good doing it, do it. If you don't look good, don't do it. It's all individual. It's all individual. There you go. Yeah, yes, that's exactly. What do you like better, Paul's Man on the Run documentary or the Wings book that is meant to accompany it? Well, I don't have the book. I'm cutting down on lots of things, people. Lots of things, including books. I have some books. Where's the one? Is the one here? It's not handy. Okay. I was going to show one that I got. How's Bazooka Joe? I hear that he's doing well. I haven't seen him in a while. The new, I don't know about that. The relationship in the movie Ben-Hur between Charlton Heston and Stephen Boyd, how much do you read into the subtext? I think people make more out of it than it is. It's ridiculous. I think, however, Gore Vidal says that he kind of wrote that into the idea that it was kind of a lover's quarrel. And you know what? I went a little too far when I said, it's ridiculous or whatever. If there is such a thing that's read into it, Masala has an interest in Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur doesn't have the same interest in Masala because he's in love with the woman Esther in the movie. You don't see Masala in the movie pining after any women, although he does. I think he has a small affection for Ben-Hur's sister Tirza in the movie. So there you go. Let's see. Someone should ask Paul or Ringo, what will you do when the bubble bursts? Wow. Oh, man. Yeah. I don't think they want to think about that. When your face doesn't match your hair anymore. Great analogy for aging that a writer could use. I'd use it myself, but I'm bald. Despite knowing your age, I think you look like you're in your 40s. Okay, I'll send you your money. Just give me your address again, James. I forgot it. I'll send you your money. No, seriously, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I mean, I look, I don't know, maybe 50, maybe 50s, but thanks. I think when Paul married his third wife, he stopped dyeing his hair. Oh, there was a video called Paul's Worst Concert. He heard the concert for Campuchia, so he noticed it wasn't that bad. Yeah, sure. I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time. What do you think about it? I think it is successfully disturbing, scary, upsetting, horrifying. I think it is one of the most effective and greatest horror films ever made. Hello, Paul. This is Paul. How are you? Yes, Paul has been consistent in his story with Mary Had a Little Lamb, first set of the 1980 McCartney interview album. See, I know that interview and that album, but I didn't realize it was in that. Didn't realize it was in that. Love how George helps Ringo with Octopus's Garden. Love that scene. Say what you like about Ringo, but all the members of the Beatles loved him. Absolutely. Unconditionally. They loved Ringo, and Ringo was very good, very good, very good. Yeah, absolutely. I have a very young face. Hey, let's be honest. Well, very young would be 18, 20. Younger face. No way do I look 60s. I just don't. And you know what's wrong? I always wonder how come it's okay for us to put ourselves down, but we can never put ourselves up. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay to be humble, but you can't ever say something good about yourself. Hey, believe me, I often put myself down. Believe me. What's this? I Am Sam, the movie I Am Sam. Yep. And by the way, all things must pass, GH. You only show up to make trouble. You know that? I love these people. I mean, look, I got him. Not just, I hate stupidity. This is the thing, you know. You know the old quote. This is how I feel about that.
I'm afraid that stupidity always brings out the worst in me.
Stupidity?
Yes, stupidity.
Why do I have to waste my time outwitting morons?
There you go. That's how I feel about it. Hey, James Farley, what's going on? All right, let's see. There you go. Peacock Streaming Network. I don't blame you, Joe. I've been culling through my collection as of late and selling off probably about 25% of my collection in the next couple of weeks. Great. I think it's great. There was a time when I would have got the shivers about the idea of doing that. Now I'm like, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, you know. And I bought 2 items today. I bought a CD, double CD today, which I'll talk about some other time. I'll tell you what it is. And I bought a DVD movie today. I still will always be buying things, but I've decreased big time, man. My monthly allowance has been building up because I'm spending less than I used to. What did you think of the song Revolution being used by Nike in 1988? Well, I never really like when they do that, when they use All You Need Is Love for diapers, Love's Diapers, or I never like when they do that with songs, but it doesn't look like Revolution hurt it any. Do you think that Paul should stop doing stadiums and do more of the smaller concert with a shorter set list? I like the idea of, both. I'm happy with big stadium shows, and I like the idea of small, intimate venues, too. I like both. I don't know. I said for the longest time that I think that it would be nice if Paul would just stop playing live and spend what years he has left saving his voice for studio music albums work. But it seems like here he is going to be 84 in June, and it looks to me like he's still able to handle it all. So he's handling it all. I really think all 4 Beatles could have been kinder to Mal Evans than they were. Mal was a very dedicated person. I think they loved Mal Evans, but I think, occasionally they might have kind of teased him a little bit or weren't the nicest to them. Is there any Dylan album better than any Beatles album? That's a tough one. That's a good question, by the way, because I like Dylan. I don't think so. Sorry. I'm not going to count Yellow Submarine. Maybe I'll say the closest. Well, wait a minute. Maybe I'll say, hold on. Maybe I'll say that Highway 61 Revisited is better than Beatles for Sale. That's as close as I'll come. But that's me really trying hard, pushing it. Hello, James Farley. Yep, I said that already. Yeah. There's no way I'm perfect. No way. I am not perfect, believe me. Hello, Mark Taylor. I know you don't need me to tell you that I'm not perfect, but I just wanted to say it for posterity and have it down here in case anybody wants to tweak something to make something untrue about that. I got to say, I'm 55, and Joe definitely does not look like he's in his 60s. Looks 49. Thanks. I got to get to the barber. Got to get the haircut. Got to darken it a little bit. Got to get back into that a little bit. Well, I don't know about that. Let's hope that's the case. Yeah, I'm worried about that too. I'm worried about that. Yeah, if that ever happens, I am worried about the loose skin. But you know what? I shouldn't say that because that's only set me up for future shit if it happens. But anyway, I'll deal with it, whatever it is. First of all, let's see if I can make it happen. First of all, what do I think of the lyrics of Taxman? I think they're excellent, excellent lyrics. I heard a version of the White Album with Hey Jude replacing Revolution 9. It played better that way. Would it have been a good idea to release it that way? Yes and no. I mean, yes and no. I mean, of course, I think Hey Jude is a better song and more deserving of space than Revolution 9 is. But however, I like the fact that the White Album has all kinds of versatile and unusual stuff on it, including an experimentation track like Revolution 9. So I'm glad Revolution 9 exists on the White Album just because it has everything. It runs the gamut of everything. So I'm all right with that. But also, by the same token, I like the idea that Hey Jude was just released as a single in a way. I like that it's a special single. I'd love to see a sit-down discussion between Ringo and Pete Best. It would be interesting. I'd like to see that. I don't think it'll ever happen at this point, but it would be nice. Or Paul McCartney and Pete Best. I saw the Blair Witch Project when it was in the theater. It was okay. I don't ever need to see it again. The greatest lyric written in any song: "When it takes you all night to do what you used to do all night." I don't know. Have you watched the Morgan Neville interview? I have not seen the whole thing. I bounced around it this morning. I went just look for sections. Got to watch the whole thing. And I got to tell you something else. I'm kind of unhappy about myself, that I'm starting to rely a lot of times on when I watch things, I'm putting on the speed thing, number 2. I'm going with the speed. I'm watching a little faster. But anyway. Okay, Paul's solo scene in A Hard Day's Night, were they right to cut it? I don't know until I see it, until we see it for ourselves to see if it worked or not. I personally think it would have been nice for Paul to have his own scene, because John has his own solo scene in the movie, George has his own solo scene in the movie, and Ringo has his own solo scene in the movie. Paul doesn't have one. And the only thing is, I dare say, I think Paul was the weakest actor of the 4. I thought the reason they did it was because it didn't work. Didn't work very well. I know this has nothing to do with anything, but that was really cool how you were able to edit in random movie television clips mid-live stream. Sorry, I love video production, things like that. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Do me a favor. Why don't you give me a little fist bump on that, okay? Much appreciated. Let's go.
This is for
That's a fist bump. That's what I like.
Okay. All right. Ever seen anyone in the street, not conventions, that was a spitting image of a Beatle? Is that what you mean? I can't recall right now. I got to go back up. I went too far down here. If Paul releases another album in the future, will it be another 6 years away? We don't know. We don't know. If he does release one, if he does release one, or his family releases one, or something, in the future, I have a feeling that it wouldn't be as long. Like, in other words, if he's going to utilize the other songs, maybe that are left over from this one, I don't think it'll be that long. Just a guess. I have not heard Just Like Tom Thumb's Blues by Judy Garland. No, you like this is my Living in the Material World George shirt. They played Revolution 9 on Sirius. Oh, God. Did that already. Did Charlton Heston do his own stunt at the chariot race? Also, I think Masala was only power hungry. Well, Masala was, being in Rome destroyed Masala. He turned, Rome wrecked Masala as a person. The power got to him and all that. Yes. Charlton Heston, he drove the chariot himself, but not through every moment. If you watch the great chariot race scene, Charlton Heston was a professional. Uh, he really was dedicated to his craft, and he spent more time than anybody else learning to drive the chariot. He practiced. I don't remember how long it was, for a month, every day for a month, and he learned how to do the chariot. But there were a couple of shots, especially on the turns of the arena, where there was a stuntman, and it was Joe Cannut, the son of the great silent era stuntman Yakima Cannut. And there's a famous scene. I'll make this quick for people who are not interested in this. Hold on a minute. There's a scene where one of the chariots is wrecked in the road, and Charlton Heston, Ben-Hur, his chariot's coming, and the horses have to leap over that chariot. And when they filmed it, and it was the stuntman in that one shot that jumped over the chariot with the horses, he popped out of the chariot and flipped over. So they left it in the movie. It was an accident, but they left it in the movie. And then they shot another scene afterwards. The stuntman goes flying, and then they have Charlton Heston's character in a close-up just landing on the rim and being able to pull himself back into the chariot. So there you go. Do you think Ringo's new album will be one of his worst? Well, that's a silly question, isn't it? I have no way of knowing that. No way of knowing that at all. It could still be one of his best if the other 8 songs are good. I didn't like the first 2. Simple as that. The Beatles couldn't help Mal or Badfinger because the guys were going through their personal stuff too, especially dealing with Alan Klein. Okay. I would hope that Pete Best got another payout for the re-release of Beatles Anthology. Maybe he did, if there's anything with him on it, right? If you could erase one, Mary Had a Little Lamb or the Frog Chorus, checking to see if Andy's still here. Well, Andy, if you're still here, I think it's very rude of you, sir, not to respond to me. No link. But anyway, I would get rid of Frog Chorus. If I can only have one of the 2 songs, I definitely keep Mary Had a Little Lamb. I don't believe you ever saw. No offense to you, Gary. Nobody's ever seen the solo scene in A Hard Day's Night that was cut. A lot of times people think they've seen scenes, but all right, unless you have special access, I don't know if the outtakes exist anymore. Oh, wait a minute. Imagine if I'm wrong and this did appear, because I'm trying to think, was there a scene? Maybe there's photographs from it. I know that. Hold on that last comment. I can't remember if I've ever seen a clip of it. I'm admitting I could be wrong, but I remember photos of the scene. What do you think right now is the weakest song on Band on the Run? Oh, that's easy. It's either Picasso's Last Words or No Words. I don't know which one. I have to. I think maybe No Words. There you go. There's a fist pump. There you go. It's easy to bash Frog Chorus, but imagine writing it. Okay, it's as a children's song, it's fine. I just don't want to hear it. Paul should write a new song, When I'm 94. He should have made one, I'm 84, right? The outtake footage from A Hard Day's Night was junked in 1969 when the Beatles were still active. Where does The Exorcist rank in the pantheon in the horror genre, in your opinion? I think The Exorcist is one of the greatest, again, just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of the most disturbing, effective, psychological, upsetting horror films in history. I think it's one of the greatest. I will say, though, that The Exorcist has gone down a little for me. I still think it's one of the greatest, but I used to think a lot more of it, say, 40, 50 years ago than I do now. Dead Man's Shoes. I don't know many Jeffrey Hunter films. I don't, so I can't say. I know he's in The Searchers, which I actually don't like The Searchers. And he was in King of Kings. He played Jesus. But I'm sorry, and all. I know historically Jeffrey Hunter was not really accurate for the part, but Jeffrey Hunter will always be my Jesus Christ actor, if you will. That's so I picture him. Judge 2 compared LPs by the number of Lennon-McCartney classics. Beatles for Sale beats Even Highway 61 by a score of 8-0. Okay, George, you can have that opinion. I was asked what my opinion was. Okay. So there you go. And I still love Beatles for Sale, by the way, before I start getting all kinds of nonsense comments from people thinking I hate the album. Do you think Paul got paid for his appearance on Hackney Diamonds? I would guess he did, but what do I know? What's the rarest Ringo item in your collection? I think it's actually that Atlantic Records spyglass that I have in my photo, my avatar photo, where I'm kind of looking like this to it. It came by Atlantic Records, and it's hard to find. Hello, J.D. Thompson. Thanks for joining us here today. I saw a video of you ranking Ram songs and putting Backseat of My Car in 8th position. Have you reconsidered that? No. I like Backseat of My Car, but boy, I just think it's one of my lesser favorites, believe it or not, on that album. It doesn't mean I don't like it. I do. But I don't know. I don't know. It's like kind of like all over the place kind of thing. It's like, but then again, I love my number one song is Uncle Albert, the single, and that's all over the place. Well, I don't buy these. When people do this, I don't buy this. No offense to you, but people do not want to commit. Even if you love every song on the album, there has to be one that you would rank, and I want to know what it is. If you had to rank them from your best favorite to your favorite, but maybe the least if you had to. Somebody will give you $100 million to tell us what your least favorite is. You have to pick one, you know. Yeah, I guess that's the only way you could look at it, because the storyline with Paul's grandfather was in there. That's like Paul's story in a way, I guess. But by the way, even though Wilfred Bramble is so much fun in A Hard Day's Night, I didn't like that they felt they had to put that character in there. You know, why did they have to do that? I mean, it works. It's still enjoyable. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen, in Hard Day's Night. Maybe it was the photos of the scene that I'm remembering. The actress who was in the scene said Paul drove her home, I think. Very clean, though, isn't he? Paul should write When I Was 64. Anybody hear that? It's the shower. It's never that loud. What the hell's going on? Okay, there you go. What is your favorite Sergio Leone film, if you have one? I probably have one. I have to see a list of the films. Westerns and things like that. The director of The Exorcist would say it wasn't a horror movie. I don't care when people do that. I know William Friedkin. They do that all the time. You know, oh, I wasn't making a horror film. Well, I got news for you. It's a horror film, okay? You know what I mean? Didn't intend it that way, but it's a horror movie. I did not see Spinal Tap 2. No, I didn't. I know Paul was in it, though. Yeah. There you go. Okay, Project Hail Mary has two of us in it. This is a great way to bring in new, younger Beatles fans. A song on Hackney Diamonds says Elton John is featured. If he is, I don't hear piano or even his vocals. Yes, I forget which song that was now. I know there's one with him on it. I don't know if he's playing music on playing. I don't remember him singing on it, but I know he's on it, but I can't remember which song that was. I used to know. It's like in the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. Something about, I don't want to make it say the wrong streets or something, maybe. Hello, Elliot. Glad you like that Ringo promo. Yes, by the way, I got it from Elliot. Yes, Elliot sent me. That's my favorite Ringo item. In my opinion, Ram is really hard to rank because it's so unique and out of the box. Not the same way as McCartney 2, because that's just chaos. Do you remember a radio song by Climax Blues Bands called I Love You in 81? I thought it was Paul at the time. If I hear this song, I'll probably recognize it. Do you think Denny Lane should have got more credit in Man on the Run than he did? No, I only saw Man on the Run once at the theater, so I'm trying to remember it in my head. But I think he he got his due in it, from what I remember. Godzilla -1 was awesome. Yes, it was. It's the most recent Godzilla film to date. I'm talking about the Japanese Godzilla films. I'm not talking about these stupid American ones, Godzilla X Kong and Kong X Godzilla and all the, whatever it is. But the New Empire and all this U.S. stuff. I'm talking about the Japanese original series. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was maybe the best Godzilla ever made, or at least the best one after the original 1954 one. Jeffrey Hunter's last movie was A Custer of the West in a small part. Okay. Do a 5-hour video where you rank every solo Beatles album in detail. That would be hard to do. That'd be hard to rank them all. Favorite song on London Town? I hate when people, when I have to, not you asking me, I hate when I have to answer, a typical answer, when people ask me. But my favorite song is With a Little Luck. My other favorite songs on that album are Cafe on the Left Bank and the title track London Town. And the song, underrated song, I've Had Enough, rocker. I like I'm Carrying. Those are my favorite songs on London Town. Do you have any vinyl albums or CDs that you would never sell? Yo, absolutely. Sure. Thank you, Robbie, for joining us. Take care of your hangover. I'm glad you're still able to listen to my nonsense. Thank you. What was the best Rolling Stones album of the 70s and 80s, respectively? Well, the 70s, I would say Some Girls, even though it could be Sticky Fingers. The 80s, I don't really know the 80s. Well, it was either Tattoo You or Steel Wheels for me, I guess. So you're not really happy with the new Ringo album so far? Well, the 2 tracks, no, I don't like either one of them. If I like them, I'll tell you so. I'll be honest, if you want, I'm not saying you, Jack, because again, please, a lot of times people will ask a question and it'll remind me of something else or other people. But if people out there don't like my honesty, they think you're just a mean guy, grouchy guy, this and that. You don't like when I don't like something, I say it. I'm not afraid to say it. Go find another channel. If you're somebody who only wants, just give me happiness all the time. It's got to always be positivity. Everything's got to be thumbs up all the time. So totally like unreal, ingenuine, disingenuous. If that's what you want, I'm the genuine deal. And hopefully people appreciate that, because if I tell you honestly when I dislike something and I'm honest, then when I say I really like something, thumbs up, I really mean it. I'm not just trying to cater to anybody, to any authors out there or celebrities out there, and stuff like that. Things We Do for Love, I thought was McCartney and Wings. Well, I could see that being a Wings song. I mean, I could see it's got that feel to it, but it doesn't sound anything like I would never mistake that song for McCartney and Wings. I'd never mistake it, the vocals. But, the singers I wouldn't think were Paul. But the style is, yes, I still have the All Things Must Pass Uber box. It's not on my sell list. Not yet, anyway. I can't say what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years, but right now it's not on my sell list. Go to London and recreate the London Town album cover. Who do you think I am? Andy Nichols? Beatley Tone. What about your favorite song on Living in the Material World? Same thing. I hate this to be predictable. Favorite song is Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. After that, I like Be Here Now, The Light That Has Lighted the World, the title song Living in the Material World, Don't Let Me Wait Too Long. Those are among my favorites. I don't have really any modern artists that I enjoy. The closest I came to, and she's not really doing much anymore, was Elle King, Rob Schneider's daughter. I have a couple of her albums. Your level of grouchiness varies between different live streams. Well, it depends on my mood. And also, well, this is for another channel, but also depends on how I've been eating lately. When I eat a lot of sugar and I eat a lot of crap, it makes me irritable. I think. From some people believe in that and some don't, but it is a fact that it happens. But no, it depends on my mood, really. That's all it is. And of course, the other thing is it depends on my co-host, Danny, because if you watch me and Danny, he's the most annoying man. Hi, Danny. I know you're watching this. Hello, Danny. Danny will annoy anybody, He's a great guy, a really nice, sweet guy, but he's annoying as hell. You can watch me and him, he and I, over at my other channel, Mayo Loves Mondays. We do live streams over there. So go over to Mayo Loves Mondays and subscribe. We do Wednesday shows over there. Let's see. I knew from your thumbnail you did not like the Choose Love remake. Yeah, you got to do it. Look, once in a while, you do have to do a little, nobody likes the term, clickbait. You have to do it. You want to get views. You want to get the views. You might, you want to try to beef up a little monetization there. Well, you got to do that. You got to make, the goal is to make people want to click on your videos. Now, one thing that I try not to do is if I ever do a thumbnail or a title that sounds like clickbait, like, I try to make sure it's the truth. Like, I won't say something I try not to say anything in the title or thumbnail that's not true in the video. It has to correspond accurately. I think Paul's happiest wings lineup was the Wings Over America in '76, etc. Yeah, I do. Paul says that. Paul said that. I think he said that was his favorite lineup, and I think it's true. For me personally, I might say that as well. What is the best individual side of All Things Must Pass? Now, I haven't heard that in a while either. I don't know. Probably side one. That's it exactly. It's a shame. It really is. It's just a shame that people don't understand that. There's an old saying, being honest will not get you a lot of friends, but they'll always get you the right ones, the ones that matter. I'm not interested in people that just want to be near me because I just tell them what they want to hear all the time. I like people that like honest conversation and like the fact that, when I really like something, I'll say I really like it. If I don't, I'm not afraid to say it. Now, of course, there are other degrees of that. You could be a little bit more reserved. I'm not always reserved in how I say it, but sometimes when you're making a video, you want to really get people's attention, So maybe I'll make a video and I'll say, "Oh man, that album, it sucked. Oh my God." Thinking Ringo's new song video. I said at the beginning, I go, "Egad. Well, you're doing that because you're also, it's true. It's not a lie. It's not lying, but you're trying to make it something to watch. Something other than just sitting there. Yeah, Ringo's album is out. I really don't like the song on it, the new song. His new song is out. I do not like the song much. Yeah, it is not too good." I don't think anybody wants to watch that. Okay. I told you a story. I used to work at a record store, and some kid thought George Harrison did Baker Street by Jerry Rafford. Had to break his heart that it wasn't George. Too bad, because Baker Street is a great song. Great, great, great song. Touches me right here every time. That horn on there, sax. I'm sure you have talked about it before, but what are your feelings about the film Son of Dracula? I watched it last night. Are you talking about the Ringo one? There's two of them. The Ringo one, I only saw it once on a really crappy quality video tape, and it didn't do it justice. So it's not a good movie, I've heard, but I have to see it again because I don't really know. I love Elle King. I enjoy her song X's and O's. Yeah, I so do I. You've got awesome taste in music. You hear that, Danny? I got awesome taste in music. No, I do. I have great taste in music because I know a hit when I hear it, and I have an ear for a good pop song, and that's what I like. But not everything I like. I like Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan doesn't have a lot of pop songs. And he's not a bubblegum artist, you know. Have you played the Godzilla clip? Nope, not today. I have not. I think I'm overusing that a little too much. Sorry, Ramoga. I remember one time I picked up a used computer, and one of the things on it before I deleted the previous owner's stuff was a copy of X's and O's. First time I heard it, it was pretty damn good. Yeah. But I actually like a second album after that, you know, called Shake the Spirit. I like that. I'm going to have to be going. Well, I got a little bit of time to stay on here, but I got like 15 minutes or so, I think. I said it before, and I'll say it again. We need more solo review album reviews. I'm sorry. Hang in there. Please, I beg of you. I beg of you, hang in there. I'm going to do it. I promise I'm going to do it. Do them, actually. In the meantime, if you go into the playlists, you might find some interesting solo album stuff that's already up there if you haven't seen them already from the past. Okay, I see lots of clickbait that has nothing to do with the video. Very frustrating. Yeah, that kind of thing. If it has nothing to do with it. Mean Mayo is so mad and grumpy and jaded. Are all his videos like this? Every single one of them, yeah. Yes, indeed, we got to that. Solo Joe live streams, 10 out of 10. Joe and Danny, 2 out of 10. I appreciate that, Chris. No, I really appreciate that because, again, that's what makes the world go around. Everybody's different. You know, some people really appreciate the Joe and Danny show. Some people like it when I'm just here by myself like this. Some people like it when I'm not by myself and I'm not with Danny, but I've got other people and we're discussing Beatles only. So there you go. The country version of Choose Love isn't that bad, but it did nothing to enhance it. And also the new Choose Love I didn't think sounded country at all, really, to be honest with you. Let's see. Hello over in Paris. Hello, BB. I don't mean this rudely, but do you consider yourself more of a music critic, fan, or both? I consider myself more of a fan, you know. But for this channel, I do review sometimes and criticize some music, especially. Just give my opinion is all it is. It's just giving my own opinion. And people who are interested will watch. People who are not interested don't watch. Thank you for those who do watch. Joe is like the one song that says "Tell It Like It Is" by Aaron Neville. Great vids as always. Not really a Beatles fan, a Hendrix fan, but you give great info on the Beatles. Thank you, Phil. That's nice of you to say. Let's see. Only sleeping, Kenny. Hello, what's going on? Just saying hi. Hope all is well. Happy Easter to you too. Tom, how you doing? Tom Liverani. Wishing you and yours a very happy Easter. Thank you, sir. Same to you and yours. Danny's fun to have around sometimes. I like the banter. Yeah, it's basically, I call Danny and myself on our show on the other channel, I call us the 21st century odd couple. Get under each other's skin. How did you get the recording of Danny singing Touch Me? Well, that was from Peter. Peter did it for me. I feel the same way when I hear Baker Street. Such an old school classic. Yeah. Days We Left Behind is great. I think it's quite good. I'm not ready to call it great yet. I think people are really going overboard with the song. Now, that doesn't mean I don't like it a lot, because I do. I like it quite a bit. And I've still only played it twice, and I still like it quite a bit. So maybe after I hear it 5, 10, 15, 20 times, I'll start to think it's one of the greats. Has Pet Sounds always been your favorite album? Favorite album to mock? I don't like it. You know that. Anyways, gotta go. Wish you and everyone here happy Easter, Passover, whatever you celebrate. Yes, should mention that too. Passover, happy Passover. Not everybody celebrates or acknowledges Easter, so happy whatever you celebrate. I thought Ringo's "What's My Name" album was pretty good. I liked his version of "Grow Old with Me." Yeah, I like Ringo's "What's My Name" album too, but I didn't like the song "What's My Name" very much. But not every song on there was a good one. But it was a lot of good ones I liked on it. Thank you, Douglas. Happy Easter to you. Okay. Yes, same to you. Yes, yes, yes. No More Lonely Nights and Once Upon a Long Ago are such great Macca tracks. I like both of those. I like No More Lonely Nights and I like Once Upon a Long Ago. Once again, Pet Sounds is way overrated. That's what I think. I agree. None of us could even think to imagine what Pete Best was feeling when he saw what the Beatles had become. Yeah, he must have really, he just wanted to end it, man. I'm glad Pete Best stuck it out and he's with us because, I think he's very happy. I think he became very happy. He's still something of a celebrity. He's still part of history. He got money for his involvement with the Beatles. He became a millionaire at one point because of Anthology. And he's a famous star. He meets people, signs autographs, does gigs, and yet he doesn't have to give his soul up like John Paul, George, and Ringo did. So good for him. Keep away from the Easter basket. Happy Easter, Gary. Do a pilgrimage to Liverpool. Maybe one of these days. I don't know. One of these days. You get older and older. Did you listen to all of Pet Sounds when you were in the store recording that short one time, or did you just catch it in the middle of it? I listened to Pet Sounds in its entirety about 3 times, and that was enough. Enough to know I don't care for it. Exactly. Yes, there's a photo of me and Pete Best that was taken October of 2022. You can see it in my banner if you go to my main page or whatnot, all the pictures of people I've met associated with the Beatles. You got a picture of me next to Paul. I didn't really meet Paul. Paul was signing an autograph for somebody else, and I just happened to tilt into the picture. So there's a picture of me and Paul, and then there's a picture of me and Yoko, who I met, and Linda McCartney, who I met, and Sean Lennon, who I met, and Pete Best. There are other people, too, that I would love to. I wish there was more room. I wish YouTube would give you more room. I'd like to show a picture of me and Victor Spinetti from A Hard Day's Night and Help. A picture of me and Patty Boyd, other Beatle people. I don't believe I've heard the Beach Boys Sunflower album. No. Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, if you give me a choice, you can say you can either go to Liverpool. You have only one you can do with it too. Go to Liverpool and see all the sites in Liverpool, or go to EMI Studio. Go into the EMI Studio and walk across Abbey Road and get your photo taken. I pick Abbey Road. I pick Abbey Road every time. I love the Fab Gab sessions. You all get really down to the nitty gritty on your topics. Yeah, I'd like to find a way for that to be a more regular thing. Do a thing where at least once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month let's say once a month at the least, very least, would be nice. What was it like meeting Sean and Yoko? Well, Sean, it was just this past October. It was fairly recent. And I was invited to go to the listening party in Manhattan for the Power to the People box set. And it was quite amazing. Sean has seen my videos. We had a little communication, a few emails we shared because he liked a review that I gave back in 2020, I think it was, for the compilation album, Give Me Some Truth. And when he contacted me through email, what he said was he appreciated that I was willing to say what I didn't like about it. That's why there's a lot of idiots out there that think that people just shill and they just say good things all the time. Well, what Sean liked about it was that I wasn't afraid to say, for example, that I didn't like the fact that the horns were removed from Steel and Glass on the Give Me Some Truth album. So he appreciated it. But anyway, when I got to meet him, right, he was happy to meet me because we talked. He knew he knows my channel, and he was a very pleasant guy, and we just talked about general stuff. How's mom doing? And, talking about a little about the song, the woman song that was taken off the album. And we talked about that a little bit, just general stuff. As far as Yoko goes, I got to meet her twice. I met her in front of the Dakota, but there was a situation where she was going out somewhere on both days, and she stopped. There were fans there, about half a dozen people, maybe six to 10 people there, and she was posed with every one of them both times. She signed autographs both times. She smiled. She laughed. She was very sweet. That was my experience with that. And Linda McCartney also terrific. I got to meet her. She was coming back to the hotel in 1993 for Saturday Night Live when Paul was on with Chris Farley, the Chris Farley Show episode. And she was very nice, Linda, just like you always expected her to be. She was on her way back to the hotel from doing shopping. She walked down the street with some shopping bags, and she was willing to pose and sit and be nice to everybody. Back seat of my car on Ram is too long. I went to Abbey Road in the 90s and got my photo taken at the crossing. Took my shoes off like Paul in the winter. A lot of people do that. I'm laughing at Silver Phantom's question. Hold on. It was funny when we went into EMI on the Peter Boothroyd here. I have a video up somewhere where he actually snuck into EMI, and he was doing a live feed, sneaking up, and they asked him to leave. Do you have a favorite Beatles tribute band? Not especially. They're all pretty decent, the ones I've seen. I don't have one I could name. This is the question I like. Do you take naps in the daytime, then wake up and feel terrible? Most of the time when I take naps in the daytime, I wake up and feel awful. Instead of feeling, energized or feeling better, I feel kind of out of it. When I got Abbey Road, looking at that cover was a ritual. Every time I listen to it, I know every nook and cranny on both sides of the cover. I know what you mean. Okay, Backseat of My Car is the best song on Ram, or Too Many People. Very good. Chris Farley, you remember when you were in the Beatles? Paul, yeah. Peace and love. Okay, folks, we got a little bit of time left. I'm going to get off here soon because I got to finish getting ready we're going out tonight. We're going out tonight for Easter rather than tomorrow. So, yeah. Yeah, in 1993, Paul did a great live version of Get Out of My Way. Definitely loved it. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Long-haired lady is great too. I like every song on Ram. I do, but if I had to put my least favorite, it might be Long-Haired Lady, but it's hard to say. I like them all. Happy Easter to you and your grandchildren and your wife and your full family. Robert P. Thanks very much. What's directly over Paul's head on the Abbey Road cover? No looking. It looks like another car on the. Why do I say that? Because I have a lamp, and the lampshade has all the Beatles album covers on it. If you did eat a piece of Easter candy, what would it be? Some kind of chocolate. I can't say. Long-haired lady is too long. Okay. Hello, Eric. Happy Easter to you as well. Yes, I did eat some jelly beans and a few frozen mini Reese's. Okay, guys, thank you. I have to get going. It's always fun here, and today's been fun too. It's been a pleasure. I'm just going to tell you what to look out for here. Sundays, I was going to do the health and wellness over on my other channel, but because it's Easter, I decided to skip a Sunday. So not tomorrow, but the Sunday after. I should be able to be back to that one again. And that channel, I'd ask you to please subscribe to Mayo Loves Mondays. It has rants on it. If you like my rant videos, the rant videos are now being done over there, no longer being done over here. And we have the Joe and Danny show. That's where the Joe and Danny show is. Danny try to match wits and deal with each other every Wednesday in life management, health, retirement, dieting, this kind of stuff. So I'll put on the live show just like this, not tomorrow Sunday, but the Sunday after. I will be doing, talking about what's going on and just trying to see what do you try to eat? Are you carnivore? Are you Atkins? What do you do? And stuff like that. So that's the one channel. Also, Monday, I have a movie show that I do. I do on this show here, this channel, Mr. Cinemayo. It's movies, television, nostalgia, and pop culture. We do that, try to do it every Monday night, movie show, just like this live, only I'm joined by Tom Hunyadi. I'm joined by Tim Allen. And lately I've been joined by 4D Man, who's very knowledgeable on movies, has a great collection of posters and things. So it's a good show. That's over at Mr. Cinemayo. Now, if you subscribe to all three channels, you'll always get notifications. Hit the notification bell and hit the likes, and you will always know when there's going to be another show and what time that's going to be. So I thank you very much, everybody, as usual, and I will be talking to you very soon. Thanks for your support of this channel. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, Mr. Mayo, please do. I appreciate each and every one of you, and then some.